Filipino workers. They're lazy, unskilled. I won't be able to understand them. I'm never going to hire a Filipino worker. Is this true? These are several of the myths that Americans sometimes have about Filipino workers. Filipinos are not just the working in BPO companies or your domestic help or your nurse at the hospital. Filipinos are also working with American companies and companies all over the world as architects and engineers and lawyers in these highly skilled positions, bringing their advanced skills to companies around the world and allowing those companies to compete in the global market. Today, we're going to address some of these myths and hopefully show you the quality of the workers that they have in the Philippines and maybe have you thinking a little bit differently about the Filipino worker. Myth 1, Filipino workers are only unskilled laborers or call center agents or nurses. And yes, there are a lot of Filipino workers that work as domestic help, work as nurses, do those things in the United States and elsewhere in the world. But really, it's a testament to their hard work and a desire to do better for their families and find opportunities where they may not already have them. A lot of those workers, you'd be surprised, have degrees in engineering and architecture and accounting degrees, but feel that that's the best opportunity for them to get a good paying job for their families. However, a smart company will utilize those skills and utilize that education that those people have. I've, in my own companies, have been lucky enough to bring on really high-skilled people to do engineering and architecture and accounting and really provide great service for the company and for our clients. And obviously, all of our clients at Tahche are putting together teams that are not just call center people, not just a traditional BPO with admin assistants. We've got teams doing architecture and teams doing software development and sales and other aspects that you may not quickly think about when you're thinking about hiring a team overseas. The skill level of the Filipino worker is much higher than many Americans may think up front. However, that is an advantage to the company that's looking to bring those employees on to take on these higher level tasks. Myth 2, Filipinos are poor, uneducated, and unable to use the latest tech. However, Filipinos really are amongst the highest internet users in the world. It's not uncommon to be walking around the mall and see people on their phones, to be walking down the street and having people doing live streams or watching TikToks and doing all the things that one would expect a normal American might be doing. It's not unusual for them to be watching Netflix or YouTube and doing all of those things that we do on a normal everyday basis here in the U.S. The Philippines really is technologically advanced in that way. Many Filipinos have good internet in their homes that allow them to work from home and do things that we take for granted here in the U.S. These are all part of the technological infrastructure of the Philippines. In Cebu and in the capital in Manila, there are very highly advanced technological areas, business centers, where all of the major companies are located, including ourselves at Tahche. And these buildings are Class A buildings with security, obviously, and generator backup and high-speed internet, multiple internet service providers. These are the buildings and areas where all of the largest corporations in the world have their teams in the Philippines and are able to utilize all these technological advances to support their companies and their clients and their employees. The employees have access to high-speed internet within the buildings and good cell service within the area so that they can be doing cell phone calls and working remotely in cafes and in other areas. It really is a modern business district like you would think about if you're walking around Manhattan or even San Francisco or these other areas. And it would be a place that you'd be very proud to have your office and your employees working. Myth 3, Filipinos won't understand or adapt to our culture. This really is something that when I hear it, I'm really surprised, because the Philippines was an American colony for a long time and is really aligned with the U.S. culture. When the Philippines got their freedom from Spain, and then once they were taken over by Japan, and then MacArthur came in and gave them their freedom, the Filipino-American alignment really is strong. It's evident in the culture in the Philippines. You see them consuming all of the media from the U.S. They're watching all the same shows on YouTube and on Netflix. They're listening to the same music, and the history of immigration of Filipinos to the U.S. has really aligned their cultures. In fact, in the U.S., Tagalog is the number 3 language spoken in the country, and also in the Philippines, obviously English is, if not 1A, is 1B as far as languages. So you really have an alignment of cultures and of values, of a common history in a lot of ways that the Filipino people feel with Americans. There's a strong connection between the governments. The U.S. has had bases in the Philippines for a long time, patrolling the area in the Pacific. So it's really an aligned relationship between the U.S. and the Philippines that is a little bit different than some of the other areas in Asia and elsewhere in the world that may not have that close alignment between the U.S. and the Philippines. Myth 4, Filipinos have limited career aspirations. This is another one that I find difficult to hear when clients tell me that, or when I hear stuff like this out in the world. In the Philippines, education is of paramount importance. There is a multitude of universities and a culture of really valuing education. When I'm talking to people in the Philippines, it's really surprising how many of them have not only college degrees, but high-level degrees beyond that, and certifications and MBAs and CPAs and licensed professionals in engineering and architecture and other areas, legal degrees. It's really impressive to see the high level of education amongst the Filipino people. In the U.S., you might see a lot of Filipinos as nurses and domestic help and other lower paid jobs, but this really is a function of the salaries that they find there and opportunities that Filipinos feel they need to take advantage of if they feel like they don't have those opportunities in the Philippines. In my business, I've hired a lot of Filipinos as architects and engineers and accountants, and we have lawyers that we work with on a regular basis, and obviously you've got sales professionals and software developers, and it's really a testament to the skill level of the people that we've worked with that we are always impressed by the quality of the work that they're putting out, how it's on par with any of the work that you might find in the U.S. In fact, when I'm working with my clients and talking to them about building their businesses, I always tell them that you should be looking to build a team that's, if not as good, even better than that team. The ability to find people with high-level skills, certifications, experience with advanced software, these are things that are difficult to find globally and is available in the Philippines. And so if you're able to leverage the right people with the right skills and the right education, you're really going to do wonders for your business and your ability to service your clients and expand and grow and have the success that you're looking for with your company. Myth 5, Filipinos are lazy and without initiative. I think there's a general feeling amongst Americans that there's an island life or an island time, and maybe it has to do with their vacations in the Caribbean or something like that, where it's a little bit more laid back and there's a feeling that things don't really get done. This just really doesn't apply in the Philippines. The Filipino people are driven and motivated, and in my experience working with Filipinos, they're eager and willing to work overtime. They really are team players and willing to get on board for an initiative and getting the job done. And I think that looking at the Filipinos that come to the U.S. and take on nursing jobs and other maybe lower paid jobs and show their hard work there as well contradicts that myth. There really isn't a culture of being laid back and taking it easy. If anything, I've been super impressed by the determination and drive and willingness to go above and beyond by the Filipino worker. And so I think if you had a Filipino working in your office, you're going to be impressed as well, and maybe that work culture will rub off on the rest of your staff. So hopefully we've addressed some of these myths that you might have had regarding Filipino workers, and now you can have a better understanding of what it's like to work with Filipino workers. If you're looking to hire highly educated, techie, culturally aligned, hardworking Filipinos, Tahche might be an opportunity to do that. Reach out to us and we can talk to you about the opportunities to build a team in the Philippines and find those types of employees that have the degrees you're looking for, the certifications, the skills that you want, and really give your company an opportunity to advance in this global market. So hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that, and mention any of your questions or comments down in the comments section below. We'd love to start a conversation, maybe answer your questions down there, and share this video with your friends. If you've got anyone that's looking to build a team in the Philippines or is curious about how working with Filipinos can be achieved, we'd love to talk to them as well. Until next time, thank you.